Good evening, my generals and admirals. Welcome back to Total War Wednesday, and welcome back to the Swedish experience. Well, last time we left off, we took Copenhagen, Denmark, and pushed the Danes back on the ropes towards Iceland, where their only last refuge remains. And we're still at war with the Russians. But up here to the north, we have our Swedish ship with a decent sized Swedish army sailing around, and their first objective will be Arciangel. And from there, Karelia. Boss up near Iceland, I have a Swedish ship moving up to blockade the last Danish port here. But I have plans for Emmanuel. Emmanuel's not going to be joining up in Iceland. In fact, we're going to be sending an Emmanuel down towards the Black Sea, towards Crimea, to blockade the Russian port down here in the Black Sea. Keep them from getting a navy down here. But with it being Wednesday in the work week, we're going to be doing 5 turns. So we're going to be going from turn 15 to turn 20. So with that, let us end our turn and continue with the Swedish experience for Total War Wednesday. And we have a large Danish fleet decided to gauge our lone ship, and we're going to retreat.
Undan, undan! Ankra!
For turn 16, Lars has successfully completed his mission and has not been detected. We have a new port emerges out of Lübeck, Denmark. And we have a recruitment report out of Norway. We have a unit of militia. And we have an event, European China. The secrets of making fine porcelain or china, closely guarded for centuries in the Orient, have at long last been discovered. The more refined populace can now dine with an altogether better class of crockery. Porcelain is made from clay, alabaster, and quartz. And with all most useful inventions, two men both claim responsibility for its rediscovery. Physicist Einfried Walter von Triskamas and alchemist Johann Friedrich Böttger. However, would-be alchemist Böttger is known to be prone to mild exaggeration, so much so that a cash-starved monarch once detained him until he produced gold from base metals. It is unclear quite how Böttger managed to keep his head out of that occasion. Silver sources suggest the Messine porcelain formula belongs to von Trickenhaus, but the industrialization of the process has been realized by Böttger. And we'll start off turn 16 here with our ship and our army on board. Here in the north. And we'll sail here.
Mål för över!
Should be hitting Arciangel next turn. Up here.
Hur lyder orden, kapten?
Emmanuel's not going to be going for Crimea. He's going to be linking up with Toldorf.
Aye, aye, kapten. Skeppsorder!
And with our fleet, we'll sail here.
Ja, kapten.
And we should prepare to do battle with the last remaining of the Danish Navy. Here in St. Petersburg, we'll hold. Riga, Estonia, and Livonia will hold. Finland will hold. Norway will continue to hold. Stockholm will hold. And so far in Copenhagen, we'll hold here. And we'll end our turn. And the Barbary States are requesting an audience. They demand a $2,600 payment and a peace treaty. And they offer a peace treaty. We shall refuse their offer. And for turn 17, good news is, Lars has successfully completed his mission and still not been detected. Get where Lars is. Is he in Mars? Yes, he is. And we have an ancillary gain to Tegrif, Malamur, Crimper. Negative 5% recruitment cost for infantry. If a man wakes up with a hangover, in the memory of a warm woman, it may ease the shock of joining the army. And we're going to begin off here in Moscow with Lars. And we'll see if Lars can perform any sabotage missions. Looks like Lars' best bet is the Royal Observatory. He has a 69% chance. We'll go ahead and do that.
Undersöker målet.
Ooh, it looks like Lars was caught and executed. That's quite unfortunate.
Inväntar order.
But we'll grab Vidkun. And we'll still here. And we'll land our forces here at Arciangel.
Skeppsorder mottagna. Avvaktar vidare order.
And if we can with the army, we'll siege Arciangel.
Anfall!
We'll have to wait. We'll keep our ships here. Hold it in St. Petersburg. But down here in Riga, Estonia, Livonia, we'll raise a unit militia. And we'll send the unit of line to St. Petersburg.
Något mer? Inväntar order.
We'll hold here in Able. We'll hold here in Stockholm. But we'll try to grab one of our agents in duel with Isaac. We have a 45% chance of success. We'll do.
Jag kräver upprättelse. Rädda sig den som kan!
Unfortunately, Ben has lost the duel. But he has lived. We shall try again. And we have a 45% chance, just like the other gentleman.
Han ska få plikta för sin fräckhet.
Et spiritus Dei verem.
And our opponent has been killed. And our trait has been gained to Johannes, a simmer, steady hand. A trembling hand might diminish accuracy and be misconstrued as fear. This man, however, stands motionless. This man has fought duels and won. This trait can't be removed if the agent is defeated in a duel. Down here to the south near Copenhagen, I've come up with an idea.
Kapten,
We're gonna grab our ship that's been raiding the Russian trading port. And we'll sail here.
lägg om kursen. Skeppsorder.
And from Copenhagen, scrub this attachment and load them aboard the ship.
Ni ber om för mycket. Vi kan inte det, befälhavare. Några fler order?
För segel. Avvakta
Till
vidare
tjänst.
order. Skeppsorder mottagna. Skeppsorder.
And up here to the north,
Aj, aj, kapten.
we'll grab our fleet and we'll sail here.
Order mottagna. Avvaktar vidare
And we'll
order.
sail here.
Skeppsorder mottagna.
There they are.
Skeppsorder, kapten.
And we shall engage with the Danish fleet.
För äran för fosterlandet för belöningen.
And we shall engage. the battle begin. Unfortunately, we lost the Admiral. And we have a victory. And we shall end the battle. And we have a heroic victory even though we lost our admiral.
Vi härskar på de 7 haven!
And I think we'll take some ships as prize money. And unfortunately, Emmanuel had an heroic death. He died in battle.
Bered er!
But his memory shall not be in vain. And we shall press on with this mission. And we shall take these ports and blockade them.
Bemanna stridsposteringarna! Gör redo för strid! Kapten!
And now we blockade the ports up here in Iceland. And with that, we shall end our turn. But first, we're going to go to our diplomatic relations. We're going to open up negotiations with Spain. And we'll request a trade agreement. Ooh. I don't mind giving them improved animal husbandry. I don't mind that at all. But that single payment of 2,700 coin does hit me in the treasury. And we just pretty much came out of recession. But they offer to give us square formation. How about no 2,700, but I'll give you my technology for your technology with trade agreement. Unfortunate decline. That is okay. We'll try again later. But they marked the Confederacy, even though they're on the other side of the world. Trade agreement. And they've agreed. And to the minor nations, even though Cortland's unfriendly with us, oh no. I did not mean to do that. We'll trust a trade agreement with Friedrich I. They've agreed, but they were hesitant. We'll try to trade with Hanover. They've agreed, but they were iffy about it. That's pretty much all the nations. So now we'll end our turn. But first, research technology. And we're still doing 4 field crop rotation. That's cool. Next we'll research square formation. And we'll end our turn.
Undan upp!
And with turn 18, we have a world event. Castaway Mariner rescued. Following the altercation with the ship's captain, Scotsman found himself marooned on the island of Juan Fernando. Originally part of a Caribbean buccaneering expedition, Selkirk's complaints about conditions and the seaworthiness of the vessel made an attempt to organize a mutiny, for which the captain unceremoniously dumped him on the archipelago to fend for himself. With only a musket, a knife, a Bible, some tools for building shelter, and the clothes he stood up in, Selkirk soon regretted his actions. But by that time, his ship had already sailed away. Usually staying on the beach for fear of attack by animals, Selkirk began living in a cave and eating shellfish to survive. Each day he watched for ships that might rescue him and gradually sank into a paranoid depression as none appeared. He eventually abandoned his cave when mating season took over the beach. Moving inland almost straight away, things improved for him. His food supply became more varied as wild goats roamed the countryside. Edible roots were abundant in the soil, and there were berries from bushes also. Selkirk soon found that his natural cunning and resourcefulness served him well in the island home. Rats that gnawed at him were a genuine problem until he made friends and camped with feral cats. Using his tools to build wooden huts, Selkirk hunted goats with his musket until his gunpowder ran out. Then had to learn to chase his prey and kill them with his knife alone. At one point, he fell off a cliff whilst hunting, knocked himself out for a while, and woke up to find instead of a broken back that his fall had been broken by the carcass of the goat he was chasing. In order to keep a grasp on the language he had no cause to use, Selkirk read the Bible aloud. He also found it calmed his at times frantic emotional state. Over the course of 4 years, only 2 ships sailed within rescue distance, but he hid as they were Spanish vessels, and he feared torture and death at their hands. Finally, in early February 1709, British privateers commanded by Woods, Rogers sailed into the harbor. Selkirk was overcome with joy, and having made contact, set about catching goats to share with his rescuers. Rogers happily made Selkirk his mate and took him off the island. And we have a recruitment report. Out of Estonia, Livonia, we have militia.
Era order.
And we'll grab the army here from Copenhagen. And we'll march them down to the docks.
Marsch!
Yeah, we'll have the army board the ships.
Mannar, framåt!
And from there, we'll sail here.
Skeppsorder mottagna.
Destination, Iceland.
Mål för över.
Then up around Iceland.
Varthän, kapten?
We'll grab these ships. And we'll try to keep them here. But we'll grab our ships here. And we'll sail for Crimea.
Lägg om kursen. Avvaktar vidare order.
Back over here in Stockholm. We'll grab our previously wounded gentleman. And we'll move him back to Uppsala, the school.
Som det behagar. Va? En lärdomens och kulturens högborg.
And we'll continue the square formation research. Back over here in Arciangel.
Ers höghet!
We'll grab our army. And we'll siege Arciangel.
Förbanden redo!
It looks like it's just a town, but we'll be gentlemen, we'll demand a surrender.
Bryter belägringen!
And the garrison Archangel has surrendered. Peacefully. And we have a region captured. Archangel of Sweden.
Inväntar order.
And with that, we'll repair the governor's residence and construct some basic dirt roads. And with the army, we'll leave one unit of line and we'll have the rest of the army board the ships again.
Ni ber om för mycket. Inväntar order.
Ja, kapten.
Inväntar order. Inväntar order.
And we'll grab the ships. And we'll sail here.
Skeppsorder mottagna. Skeppsorder, kapten.
And if possible, deposit the army here.
Lägg om kursen.
Allt! Hela
Flottan
herren!
redo.
And with the troops deposited, we'll grab our ship and move them back here.
Skeppsorder mottagna. Avvaktar vidare order.
And from Archangel, we'll exempt from tax. My idea is to have Archangel be a distraction. We're not going to really try to hold Archangel, but if we do manage to hold it, that's cool. If we don't, that's the name of the game. But my real goal is to hold and keep Karelia, since that's one of our main objectives, to hold and take. But with that, we shall end our turn. And Hanover has decided to declare war on us. Since we don't have any allies, we won't need the colony. And we shall accept. And apparently none of their allies are coming to their rescue either. And the Barbary States are requesting an audience. They demand 6,100 coin and a peace treaty, but they offer a peace treaty. And we're going to refuse. And our trade agreement with Hanover has been cancelled. And we have a worker strike in Arciangel. That is to be expected. But we'll begin up here in Arciangel.
Inväntar order.
And as expected, a decent-sized Russian army is coming up to liberate it. So we'll load them in aboard the ships
Lägg om kursen.
Befälhavare, vänta vidare order!
and sail them here and drop them off here.
Aj, aj, kapten. Skeppsorden, kapten.
And with the army, unfortunately we cannot advance, but that's okay.
Befälhavare,
I have our unit of flying here and move them into St. Petersburg, the garrison.
vänster om! Marsch! Inväntar order.
And from St. Petersburg, we'll grab a Karelia detachment of cavalry. And we'll send them here.
Redo. Inväntar order.
Back here around Copenhagen,
Hur lyder orden,
we're
kapten?
going to have to reverse our idea. And we're going to have to land our army here.
Ja, kapten.
The idea was for this army to go and knock out Denmark, but Hanover decided to declare war.
Slå
Skeppsorder.
läger!
Bered er.
And since Hanover doesn't have a navy, we'll send these ships to back up to Iceland.
Skeppsorder mottagna. Minska segel.
Era order.
From Copenhagen, we'll send this unit of line here.
Marsch!
And from Copenhagen, we'll recruit the unit of line. Yes. And we'll send this unit of horse out as well.
Vänster om! Framåt! Marsch!
Kapten.
And up around Iceland, we'll go ahead and blockade the ports again.
Alle man på däck, alle man på däck. Inväntar order.
And we'll just send our fleet back up here to help.
Order mottagna. Vakter vidare order!
And we'll end our turn.
Fiendeflotta för över!
And we're gonna draw.
Backa!
Lö!
And for turn 20, our final turn for Total War Wednesday, the Swedish campaign. For this week, we have military technology researched. And it would be the square formation. A defensive posture for musket-armed infantry units, creating an impassable wall of steel to fend off cavalry attacks. As the name suggests, this is 4 or 2 or 3 rank lines of infantry arranged as a hollow square, with everyone facing outwards. It's a version of the obsolete pike hedgehog, making any cavalry charge a suicidal exercise. Bayonets are fixed to muskets when appropriate and possible. Former square requires a good order in ranks. The outer companies of an infantry unit in the line have to fold back to form the sides and back of the square, and cohesion in the process. The colors take up the station in the center, a final rallying point should the square be broken. It is also possible to form larger squares with more than one unit. This square is of course a tempting target for enemy artillery. Whether it is better to form a square in the face of cavalry and risk an artillery barrage, or stay in line to make getting artillery fire and risk a cavalry charge, can be a tactical conundrum. Theoreticians argue infantry could defeat a cavalry charge by firepower alone. Brigadier General Richard Kane, later military governor of Gibraltar, remarked, "If a body of foot have but resolution, and keep it their order, there is no body of horse dare venture within their fire." For him, that fire would be delivered from a square, not a line. He was arguing for discipline as the key to success. And the next technology we researched would be carbines. But we'll be doing something else. And we have a gentleman recruited, August Sundquist, rake out of Estonia, Livonia. And we have a construction complete out of Arciangel, basic roads. And we have a workers' right in Arciangel. Population killed 1,357. Buildings damaged, the governor's residence. And we have a recruitment report. Out of Denmark, we have 2 units of line infantry. But we're gonna big it up here in the north. We're gonna go grab our cavalry. And we're gonna place them here.
Marsch! Vidare order. Reträtt!
Why march all the way back down there? Anyway, we'll grab the army and we'll march on here.
Förbered manarna för strid.
We'll march in siege. Actually, we'll attack Karelia.
De är fångade.
And we shall assault. And we shall begin our deployment. We'll keep our formation like this, and we'll end our deployment and begin the battle.
Kanon! Artilleri!
Ja, befälhavare.
We have a victory, and we shall end the battle. And we have a heroic victory.
Anfall!
And we have another region captured. Karelia. And immediately we shall exempt the region from tax. And repair the governor's mansion. And construction basic roads. And with Karelia taken, we'll come back over here, Arciangel. Repair the governor's residence. Recruit some militia. We'll keep our cavalry here since we expended their movement points. We'll keep St. Petersburg garrisoned. We'll keep Adolfsfjorden garrisoned. And we'll keep Estonia garrisoned. Stockholm will keep garrisoned as well, along with Norway.
Captain!
We'll keep our ships out here, outside of Denmark. Last territory up here in Iceland. And lastly down here,
Aye, aye, Captain!
we'll grab our ship, and we'll move them towards Iceland.
Hissa segel! Avvaktar vidare order!
Befälhavare!
We'll grab our main army here. And we'll march on Hanover.
Förbanden redo! Påbörja belägringen!
We'll be gentlemen and demand to surrender. They refuse. We'll maintain the siege.
Vi befäster belägringen.
We'll grab the rest of the army here. And we'll combine.
Framåt! Vänster om! Marsch! Marsch! Några fler order?
And from Copenhagen, we'll recruit some more line infantry. 2 units. From Norway, we'll grab our general, Karl Arnfeldt, and a regiment of horse and a unit of line. And we'll march here.
Inväntar order. Några fler order?
We shall grab our rake, August, and send him here.
Ingen kommer att misstänka något.
And lastly, we'll come to our research and technology. I think we'll work on canister shot next. And that, my dear generals and admirals, that concludes Total War Wednesdays, the Swedish experience for this week. Join me next month, Wednesday, as we continue with the American experience and another round of War of Rights with the 65th. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Keep your uniforms in good order, your muskets clean, and your bayonets sharp. And I'll see you guys next time.